So while I'm still waiting on parts, I've decided to take my oil pump apart and clean everything up. Just take a look at it and see what's up. There's actually two pieces inside of here that do all the work. One looks like a bearing, kind of like an inverted Torx. Weird deal here. But I basically took it apart and I blew it out with some mass airflow sensor cleaner. You can use whatever you like. I just wanted to inspect everything, make sure there's no wear. Essentially, it's got a little bit, you know, but it looks good. Everything's smooth. So I'm going to put it all back together now, and I like to just coat everything with a little bit of oil to start with. So this is Mobil 1 Synthetic 040. Okay, now the way this goes back together, there's a dot right here, and then there's also a dot on the cog right here. So you have to line those two up. The dot goes towards the top of the vehicle, the top of the motor. Let me put a little bit of oil on that first. Okay, so this is the top. We've got it upside down right now. Okay. So then you line this dot up with this dot, put the shaft in there. Okay. And just put some oil on it. Let's give it a few turns here. Looks good. All right. So at this point, you just put the cap back on. Remember to use the sleeves here. There's another one that goes here I have to go get. And essentially, that's that. So there you go. Okay, so I've got the other little metal collar here. I'm not sure what you call these, but they basically line up the cover. So when you put it on, everything's good. Okay. And just put your screws back in. I'm going to go ahead and clean these real good. You want to make sure you get all the stuff out of the threads. I haven't cleaned these yet, so let me clean these and we'll be right back. After cleaning the bolts, they look like this. I just took a wire brush, wire wheel, and got all the oil, little particles out. So we're going to tighten these to 7.4 foot-pounds. Doesn't take a whole lot. Okay, just check them again. Good. Good. Alright. For God's sakes, don't lose this reverse thread nut. So there you go. Ready to put him back on the car. So this is what everything looks like once you wire brush it and kind of knock all that oil crud off. There's still a little bit in there, but that's alright. Just wanted to clean it up a little bit. See the pan here? Little elbow grease and you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together and then it will be ready to go back on the vehicle. Actually, I'm going to have to replace that seal, that O-ring. So this will be putting it together for the sake of not losing anything. How about that? Okay. Okay, so there's your oil pump and drip pan, I guess, oil pan. To clean this tube out, I actually ran aluminum cleaner, degreaser. Started with soapy water first, warm soapy water, and some dish detergent. The liquid soap, Dawn, works really good. And then to finish the cleaning part, I actually ran mass airflow sensor cleaner through the tube, through all of this mesh filter in here, and it kind of dries it out. It gets the water out of it after it cleans. So this guy should be ready to roll. I just have to replace this O-ring, and when we put this back on, this nut is very important. It's a left-hand thread, and it's the only thing that holds the sprocket onto your oil pump. I think when we put the pump back in and we get our chain and our sprocket, I'm going to go ahead and tack weld this nut to the sprocket so it doesn't come off. If it comes off, you lose oil pressure. It basically stops pumping oil, and it can cause severe damage to your engine. So you really need to make sure this nut stays on there. Okay, I just cleaned up the oil sensor, the oil level sensor, and I'm going to go ahead and reuse this. I did get some gaskets in today, and I've replaced this gasket. So I'll go ahead and put this back on the oil pan, and that will be that. So if this sensor goes bad, it's relatively easy to get to, and so it's not a big deal to replace. I'm just going to keep using this one until it goes bad.